up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of BAMGPG. I'll be your host, Bryson.
And I'll be your co-host, Ben.
Today we're going to talk about top six QBs in the NFL draft. 5 of them are going to be top 5, and then one of them is going to be a hidden gem.
Yes, sir.
And I have a guessing jar right here, but I have no idea. I have the schools in here, but if you think it's rigged, I actually have no idea.
That's right. So Bryson's back with his guessing game for which schools the quarterbacks play for. So as Bryson mentioned, today's episode, we're going to get into the quarterbacks in the draft now. So we're going
And if you haven't already, like and subscribe and go check out our TikTok, BAMGPG.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Bryson mentioned, we're going to get into the top 5 quarterbacks in this year's draft, or who we think the top 5 are anyway. And then we always end it with a guy that we think could be potentially a hidden gem in this year's draft, a guy that's probably not going to be taken in the first round or early second round. So with that, Bryson, let's go ahead and kick it off, and you'll guess your first school here.
Okay. Let's see it. Oh. Right in there. See. I think we have somebody decent from Colorado.
You think so?
Yeah.
Is that your guess, Colorado?
Yep.
All right, we do have a guy from Colorado. Absolutely. So he is probably who I have second on the board this year. So
yeah,
Shedeur Sanders from Colorado, Bryson. I'll let you dig into his stats here real quick for 2024.
Yeah, overall grade 90.9, games played 13, completions 353 attempts, 481, completion percentage 37.4 yards, 4,133 yards per average, 8.6 touchdowns, 37 interceptions, 10 passing rate.
116 even. Yeah, so Shedeur Sanders, fantastic past couple seasons at Colorado, right? So he, as you mentioned, graded out 90.9. His passer grade this season was 90.5. His deep grade, so his deep balls, 94.8 on those. Intermediate passes graded out 92.8. And his no pressure grade, right? So how's he doing when he's not having pressure in his face? Well, he did pretty well. So graded out at 93. And with pressure, he graded out at a 65.2. So slightly below average when he is seeing pressure in the pocket there. But he had a fantastic season, 4,133 yards on the year passing, 37-10 touchdown to interception ratio, which is pretty darn good. Size-wise, 6'2", 215. So he's right about average, right? He's maybe on a little bit of a shorter end for quarterbacks in this league, but right about average. And you can't say enough good things about him, right? He's a baller. I think his play is going to translate well at the next level. He's not a guy that I would plug and play immediately at the next level. So if a team has the ability to draft him and sit him a year or two behind a veteran quarterback, I think that'll pay huge dividends for him down the road. You see that in Green Bay a lot, where not a lot because we don't transition from quarterback a lot, but you'll see that in Green Bay where we went from Favre to Rodgers and then Rodgers to Jordan Love, right? So I think there's something to that. Setting a quarterback behind a veteran quarterback for a year or two, let him learn, kind of acclimate him into the NFL life a little bit, and bring him along slowly. So Shedeur Sanders, he's probably number 2 on my board this year, Bryson, for quarterbacks in this league, or in this draft, sorry.
Let's get back to the guessing jar.
Back to the guessing jar. Who do we got?
I see. Gotta show the camera before I actually look.
Who do we got here? Tennessee. Let's see if I put Tennessee on my big board here, and I did not take Tennessee's quarterback this year. So I am going to share out the next guy here. So Alabama Crimson Tide. So you typically see their quarterback come out. This year I took Jalen Milroe from Alabama. Now, he graded out this season, Bryson, at 87.4, so above average at his position. He had a completion percentage this season, 63.3, 2,834 yards, right? So we're not seeing Shedeur Sanders numbers here. You see a little more of a balance between pass and run at Alabama than what you did at Colorado. But his touchdown to interception ratio. So this is a little bit concerning with him here. So 16 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, right? So that's not great at all. His passer rating, 93.6. I'd kind of throw that in the category of average to good. But really concerned about his touchdown to interception ratio being 16 to 11. His passer grade on the season was slightly above average, 78.3 on the year. His intermediate passes, 90.7. His deep passes were 93.1. No pressure. So he's getting no pressure in the pocket. Where did he grade out? Well, 88.7. When he is receiving pressure, he didn't do great this season at all. So 51.6 when he's seeing pressure in the pocket. So that's concerning. That might tell the story of why he had so many interceptions compared to his touchdowns this season, right? So if he's forcing the ball when he's under pressure, instead of throwing it away or kind of risking it a little bit, right? So that's not great. Quick look at his size here. So he's 6'2", 225, similar to what Shedeur is, right? So pretty average for quarterbacks. But he graded out well to position, kind of more of a game manager at Alabama. His arm's okay. Nothing that's going to over-impress you with him. But he may be one of those guys you draft to develop, right? He's not going to be that Caleb Williams you're taking this year, expecting him to step in day one and take over the reins, right? Or Jaden Daniels for that purpose, Jaden Daniels for Washington, right? He's not one of those guys. He's kind of one of those project quarterbacks you'd have to take and see if he develops here in 2 or 3 years down the road.
Yeah.
So we got Alabama. So who's the next one on your list here, Bryson?
Okay. I'm not going to look. I'm going to let the camera see it first. Texas.
No Texas quarterback this year. So Cam Ewers, I believe their quarterback coming out of Texas, pretty decent. But he didn't crack my top 5 for quarterbacks in this year's draft. So with that, I am going to go to our next one here, Bryson. So Ole Miss. Yeah, so we'll do him, right? So Jackson Dart, I was going to save him to last, but he's kind of my hidden gem in this year's draft, Bryson. He had a fantastic season with Ole Miss, really a fantastic collegiate career overall, 22, 23, and 24. I'll let you cover through his stats here real quick, Bryson.
Yeah. Overall grade, 92.5, games played 13, completions 276, attempts 399, completion percentage 69.2, yards 4,276, yards per average 10.7, touchdowns 29, interceptions 6, and passing rating 122.3.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, he's not really a hidden gem. He's a good quarterback in the draft. A lot of people just don't have him on the boards quite as high as some of these other guys. But I'm really impressed with him, right? I've caught a couple Ole Miss games on TV this year, and super good quarterback. Real impressed with his arm strength, his vision on the field. As you mentioned, graded out 92.5 at the position this year. His passing grade was a 91.9. Now, to that, his intermediate grade on passes, 94.4. Deep grade, 92.6. When he's not seeing pressure, it's fantastic, 93.4. Now, where you can see some improvement at the next level would be his pressure grade, right? So when he's seeing pressure in his face, not as good as when he's not, right? So 69, so slightly below average there. And he's also a guy, if you bring him in, allow him to sit a year or two behind a veteran presence, I think he's gonna be a fantastic quarterback in the next league. If you don't rush into that starter role right away, this guy's impressive, right? He has the arm talent. His strengths translate to the NFL. I'll put it that way. So he's kind of my hidden gem, a guy that's probably going to sneak out of the first round that you could probably grab in the second. But I'm really impressed with Jackson Dart. I like him a lot as a quarterback. Height-wise, similar to the first ones we covered. He's 6'2", 225 pounds. But overall, fantastic collegiate career. He's kind of my steal of the draft at that position.
Yeah.
All right, Bryson, who do we got next?
Let's see. 2 guys left. No, 3. See here. Show the camera.
Who do we got?
Ohio State.
Ohio State. We do have an Ohio State. You got that one. We had him. So let's go ahead and take a look at him here. So Ohio State. So Will Howard from Ohio State. Want to run through him real quick, Bryson?
Yeah, overall grade 86.4, games played 16, completions 308, attempts 423, completion 72.8, yards 4,003, yards per average 9.5, touchdowns 35, interceptions 10, and passing rating 119.9.
Yeah, so national champions, Ohio State, right? The guy's a winner. So he graded out 86.4 at the position this year. He had over 4,000 passing yards on the season, so that's fantastic. Touchdown to interception ratio is awesome, 35-10. 35 touchdown passes, only 10 interceptions on the season. And his passer rating was 119.9, as you mentioned. So his passer grade this year, above average, 85.7. Intermediate passes on the season, 88.7. His deep grade, awesome. And a lot of that could be accredited to his wide receivers, but he's got an arm on him as well. He's putting the ball where he needs to put it. He graded out 96.3 on his deep passes. No pressure, fantastic, 91.6. Now, when he is seeing pressure, not as great. Again, a guy that you'd like to see come into the league and sit a year or two, kind of improve on some of those areas of focus there. So 51 on his pressure grade. So certainly below average there, and you'd like to see some improvement there. But he had a fantastic season for Ohio State. Should be high up there. I probably got him number 4 on my board for quarterbacks in this year's draft. And he's 6'4", 235. So you're kind of your prototypical quarterback height there in the NFL. So Will Howard, I think you'll probably come off the board, if not in the first round, probably early second round.
Yeah.
All right, Bryson. So who do you got next here for us?
Okay.
Down to our last 2.
Let's see. Miami.
We do. We have Miami. We got them. So let's go ahead and share out Miami's quarterback.
Okay.
All right. So Cam Ward. Now, Cam Ward's probably the number 1 quarterback in the draft this year, potentially. Could be drafted number 1 overall. He probably should be. Tennessee's certainly in a rebuild. They need that quarterback. And that's the way to do it. Start with the quarterback and build around him. So Cam Ward, your top quarterback in the draft. I think he'll probably go number 1 overall this year. But, crazier things have happened. Maybe it'll be Travis Hunter. We'll see. But I think it'll be Cam Ward, number 1 to Tennessee. Anyway, we'll digress, Bryson, and I'll let you run through his 2024 stats real quick.
Okay. Overall grade 92.9. Games played 13, completions 305, attempts 454, completions 67.2 yards 4,313 yards per average, 9.5 touchdowns, 39 interceptions, 7, and passing rating 119.9.
Yeah. So again, there's the reason he's going to be the top quarterback in the draft this year. Graded out at 92.9, had 4,300 passing yards on the season, 39 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions, just absurd. Passer rating of 119.9. Now, his passer grade on the season, excellent, 91.7 on the year. Intermediate passes, 93.7. His deep grade, also fantastic. He's got a live arm on him. His deep grade was 95 on the season. No pressure, does fantastic, 94.1. And now, again, like some of the other quarterbacks we looked at already, when he is seeing pressure, he's not as great. Graded out at 56.6 there. So you'd like to see some improvement there. Cam Ward, he'll probably be a guy that sees the field his first year, especially if it's with Tennessee. They need a spark there. So he's certainly a guy, he'll go through some struggles his rookie season, certainly, especially being in Tennessee. But I think he's going to be a player in this league. I think he'll be great. A little bit on his size, very similar to Shedeur, 6'2", 223. But overall, fantastic collegiate career. There's no reason he shouldn't go number 1 overall, and certainly the top quarterback in this year's draft, Bryson.
Yeah.
All right, so Bryson, that brings us to our last quarterback to cover here. Who do you have?
See here. Notre Dame.
Don't have Notre Dame, unfortunately, so no clapping on this one for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share it out. So he is from Oregon, actually. Dillon Gabriel.
Oh.
So he graded out Bryson at 86.6 at the position this year. He had 3,854 passing yards on the season. Fantastic touchdown to interception ratio at 30-6, 30 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions, 114.6 quarterback rating on the season. Passing grade, above average, 86.3. His intermediate passes, he graded out 91.5 on the year. His deep pass, again, like a lot of the other guys we saw, fantastic on the season, 94.7. No pressure, 90.5. So pretty fantastic there too. You'd like to see this one improve a little bit, but still kind of slightly below average here. So when he is seeing pressure, he's at 63.6 on there. So again, he had a fantastic career. So if you look at some of the previous years, right? So 91.9 last season in 23, and then 22 also had a great year, graded out an 87 that year. So he's consistently above, well, his first year he was slightly below 3,500 passing yards, but his second year, 3,600, 3,800 this year. As you can see, this guy protects the ball, doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He had 6 interceptions in each of his 3 seasons there at Oregon. And touchdown passes, 25, 30, and 30. So he's had a fantastic career. Guy protects the ball. You'd like to see him improve a little bit on his pressure passes. But again, like I said, he's protecting the ball. He's not throwing interceptions, and that's what you look for at the next level. Size-wise, a little bit below average in size. So he's 6 foot, 200 pounds. I don't think that'll probably be too much of an issue for him at the next level. But he is when you look at your kind of prototypical quarterback height, that is slightly below average for there. But again, had a fantastic collegiate career, and I think that his play will translate to the NFL as well. And he's not going to be like a Cam Ward where you're going to probably play him in the first season. A guy like Dillon Gabriel, he's one of those fantastic project players where you take him, you set him for a year or two, let him learn behind a veteran presence, whoever that may be, and I think he'll be fine. So there's not as deep as depth at quarterback as what there has been in previous seasons, but there's some talent out there in this year's draft for sure. Some of the guys are probably more developmental than, ready to play day one, but we'll see how they shake out. So some teams are going to be in the market for it. Green Bay is certainly not one of them. We got Jordan Love, Malik Willis as a backup. So we're pretty good. Let me digress on that a little bit. So I think Green Bay may take a project quarterback, 6th or 7th round. I don't see him taking one any higher than that, but I think they'll bring one up because Malik Willis is probably on his last year of his contract. So I don't think he's probably going to sign with Green Bay beyond this year. He's probably going to want that shot at a starter position, and he certainly deserves it, right? So I think Green Bay may take a project quarterback kind of in the later rounds of the draft, 5th, 6th, or 7th round. These guys will probably be off the board by then, but I think that's probably what we'll do. And it'll be simply as a backup to Jordan Love, right? Because Green Bay, we're pretty set at quarterback. Jordan Love, my opinion, top 3 quarterback in the league, right? And I'm biased. I'm a Packer fan, so you can argue with me if you want on that one, but Jordan loves him.
And as always,
It's Go Pack Go.